Welcome to part 13, everyone, and we are finally in our first temple or dungeon, Woodfall. Yes. Finally, we get to play our first real major dungeon after oh so many videos. That's nice. As you can see here, already we can get our first stray fairy. And yeah, and if you've noticed here with the great fairy mask hair shimmering, that means there's another fairy piece around here, and we need to find it. Now, the stray fairies can appear everywhere, anywhere, and we have to find them. But don't worry, I find all 15. Yes, there are 15 stray fairies in this dungeon, and they can end up in some of the most bizarre places. As you can see here, I'm heading towards this chest here. And there's another stray fairy. See? Told you. Now, but geez, it's long last. As you can see, Woodfall Temple has this nice, well, how do you say? Well, it's kind of a forest temple, swampy, and yeah. Right, folks. All you have to do right here is jump up from Deku flower to Deku flower, and if you fall off, thankfully there's a ladder there. You can get back up to the platform and do it all over again. So that's always nice. So after you make it all the way to here, just go through this door right here, and yeah, Tattle comments that this stinks just like the poisonous swamp, and this could be its actual source. This is where all the poison water is located, and Tattle says it stinks, and well, good thing we don't have smell-o-vision because, jeez, that would make the gaming experience unpleasant. As you saw a moment ago, there is a Deku Baba that's standing straight up and not leaning towards me like this one is. And well, we got another stray fairy from being an enemy. See, I told you these things can be anywhere. As I was saying earlier, the Deku Baba that was staying straight upward, that's an excellent source for you to get more Deku sticks, because we'll be using Deku sticks throughout this temple, and we can actually lose them. Well, I'll explain later. Anyway, these things here, they're Venus fly traps. Yeah. And these things, well, they can serve as platforms, but if you're a human Link, well, these things will eat you. They will gobble you up. They will take off a chunk of your health. However, if you're a Deku Link, you can just traverse on top of them safely and no harm, no foul. Anyway, I went to this room here because the thing is about this is your typical Zelda dungeon, which means we have to collect a number of key items throughout the temple, and what we're doing right now, as you can see right here, is the room sealed behind me, and the objective here in a typical room in this dungeon is to kill every single enemy. Now what I'm doing right here is I'm using these Deku flowers, burrow myself in to take out these snappers. There you go. Now, like I was saying earlier about Zelda dungeons, you go into a room, it would seal itself, and you have to solve a puzzle. Sometimes it would involve moving objects from point A to point B, or defeating enemies like I'm doing right now. And once you do beat the enemies or solve the puzzle, the door will unseal, and you'll get an item to move on. Sometimes it could range from small keys, other times it could range from objects such as dungeon maps and compasses. Now, What I'm trying to do right now in this room is I'm trying to get the dungeon map. The dungeon map will allow me to get the layout of this entire temple and, well, make sure I don't get lost. Now, I played this game numerous times, and again, it's been a while since I played it, so I might be a little rusty on where all the locations are. As you can see, killing all the enemies, we've unsealed the doors, and now we're going to get our dungeon map. Alright, we got our dungeon map, and it shows, it explains that all areas that you have previously visited will be highlighted in blue. Your current location will be a flashing. Basically, you are in a big room, you see your current location, it's flashing, you're there. So, yeah. What I'm doing right here is I am going over to this platform right here to get to this chest. And in this chest, I'm going to get a small key. Small keys appear throughout this entire dungeon, and as well as other dungeons in other temples, and, well, the small keys can only be used at the temple you found them in. So if I were to take the Deku key, this key out of the temple and go to another temple, it won't work. It'll be incompatible. So, yeah. As you saw a moment, and the reason I'm backtracking to this room immediately is because I forgot that there was another stray fairy around here, and like I told you folks, the stray fairies can hide anywhere. And another thing about the stray fairies is, well, you have to get them all in one cycle, which means you have to complete this all in one task, get them back to the fountain, or else if you play this long enough time and go back, you will lose the fairies and you have to do it all over if you didn't get the Great Fairy's gift. So, to get the stray fairy in this area though, make sure you find a beehive on the side, and there it is. And all you have to do is shoot it down. Of course, this torch right here can block your path, so make sure you get a good angle. And there we go. I'll knock it down to the water. So all you gotta do is put on the Great Fairy Mask to lure it straight to you. That's right, come to me. And we got our fourth fairy. Alright, we've done all we can in this room so far, so let's get out of here. And the music in this temple is kind of I don't know, primordial. Has this primordial vibe to it, there's like this all like woo, woo, and then all this screeching and whoa, 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 whoa. Anyway, before we continue with the music, go to this platform with all these pots, and while you can get resupplied, get a bunch of stuff, you'll also find another stray fairy. And that's swell. Alright, folks. Anyway, back to the music. It's all kind of creepy and jungly and all that, with all the drums going bum bum and all that. And not screeching. Woo! And I think it's one of the weirdest musics in this game, personally. But yeah. Oh, this middle platform, this big structure right there in the middle platform. We'll get to that a little later. Keep that in mind. Oh, one of the things about dungeons, though, when you leave a room and come back to it, enemies respawn. I mean, like, what I mean respawn is your generic enemies that appear in a room that doesn't have significance. Like, for example, if I were to go back into the snapper room where I found my dungeon map, the snapper won't reappear, thank goodness. However, as you saw as I went back into the main room, well, the Deku Baba reappeared, and yeah, be careful, folks. Anyway, push this Majora's block forward so you can clear a path open, and what we have to do is, see, that way it's blocked right now, is take this route. And you see the platform's a little narrow, and there's no fence that will protect you in case you fall down to the poisonous water, which, again, will drain your health. So I make some ads for safekeeping, and, well, it would be nice to have something to shoot with. That stupid big skull spider thingy. Anyway, shoot the skull spider, dead. And it releases another stray fairy. And another good thing about the stray fairies is, if you get injured during the dungeon and one of the stray fairies touches you, you'll get your health back. It will refill your hearts, and that is great. Alright, now, what we're going to do is come around behind the Majora block. And of course, little old Deku Link cannot push the thing worth it. So, yeah. All I gotta do is switch back to Human Link, push it forward twice so it gets right here. And that way we have a clear path to the bar door. And the reason why that I had to get a clear path to the bar door from here, blocking the other entrance, blocking the only other way out, is because, as you see on the far end next to the barred door, there's a torch. And as you can see over where we killed the giant skull spider, the Skulta, there is a lit torch. Now what we do here is we're going to take our Deku sticks, yeah, there we go, the Deku sticks, and we're going to light it on fire. And our goal is to take the lit Deku stick over to the torch, and now open the door for us. Now, of course, you have to be a little quick, though, because the Deku stick will burn out on you before you reach it. See? And, well, you have to go all the way back and light another Deku stick and try again. And that's why there are Deku Babas that stand straight up, because you kill one, they produce more Deku sticks, and, well, you'll have a somewhat infinite supply. So, of course, another danger to running on these platforms, if you're not in control, see, you fall into the water, and see, the person is damaging me, so I gotta get out as quick as I can. Thankfully, there are stairs around here so I can get out, and, well, a good amount of my health has been taken, and it's not good. So I have to do this all over again. I have to go around to... now normally in a typical Zelda dungeon, you have plenty of time to get all your objectives done. But of course, because we're dealing with the 3-day limit as laid out in Majora's Mask, well, we only have 3 days, well, technically 72 minutes, or double that, as long as you play the Song of Infinite Time, which slows things down considerably. So while we want to explore the temple, we don't want to dilly-dally too much, or else the moon will fall and it will kill us, and that's not good. So again, take the Deku stick that's lit on fire and head over to the torch to light it. Oh, and these things, these moths that follow you, they follow the flame, and these things can hurt you. See? Alright, so now that we got the door unlocked, let's see what's inside, shall we? And what I'm going to go for next is called the compass. Now, in typical Zelda fashion, well, you know, wow, the door's locked behind us. Well, anyway, here to get this compass, we have to defeat the dragonflies, and these guys are an annoying enemy. And again, like before, I can't like strike them down with crap, because these things can dodge my sword slashes. So I decided to put on my mask and just shoot them down. See, one shot, dead. Oh, God, I hate this thing. Ah, there, die. And thankfully it gives me a heart to heal. And so I got the compass, ladies and gentlemen. The compass is a nifty little item. It pretty much determines that, pretty much lets me know if there's a treasure chest in a room. And if I consult my dungeon map, it can consult where treasure chests are in location to the room. It can also tell me location of the boss, and it can be a swell item. Alright, folks. Now what we're going to do here now is I'm going to take a Deku stick, and I'm going to go up these stairs to my left, because there's another torch that I want to lit. And it'll be so helpful for the next section I'm going to tackle. And stupid moss. Well, folks, next part we'll continue to explore this dungeon, and see you then.